My father's life is an example of the great American dream. I mean, he literally started with nothing. We've always celebrated Founders Day since my dad passed 10 years ago, but to do this on his 100th birthday is a very special opportunity. My dad was very proud of serving our country. He was a patriot till his last days. He was always a patriot. My dad received a few medals because they had a situation that everybody in our family knows where the bombs would be pushed out on the scaffolding and then they would be released and they would be dropped. Well, the bomb got jammed in the scaffolding before it could be released. And he went out on the scaffolding, Jerry rigged it, and the bomb was released. A near catastrophe was saved by my dad's heroism.
My dad felt called to the ministry when he was a youth. When he talked to his pastor said, you know, Buzz, you are so brilliant business-wise. You can make a bigger impact in the church if you will go into business and help churches than if you go into ministry and help one church. And that truly happened, because not only did he build warehouses everywhere around here and businesses everywhere around here, he really helped build the kingdom of God around here. And that was a part of his life.
Buzz started out making keys, also repairing locks, and he was the best. I mean, I tell you, he carried a little, not very much, but 3 different tools, and he had them in his car. And anytime somebody had a problem, couldn't open the lock, it took him about 2 seconds. And then he got into lawnmower sharpening and repairing lawnmowers. Then he started getting into furniture. We got acquainted and we were starting to really be good friends. And he mentioned to me that, I understand that you build metal buildings. And I said, yeah, Butler buildings we have on some of the properties that we acquired. And he said, you should build tilt-up. I said, Buzz, I don't know how to build a tilt-up concrete building. And he jokingly, he said, well, we'll build one together. And we did build one together in West Sacramento. And tell you the truth, we're still building them.
Buzz Oates the man is really what this was all initiated off of, and I smile when I say that because it's such a close relationship with him. And he really was the driving kind of factor for what has now become an organization.
He was a person that was capable and principled and stood on what he believed, commanded respect, and did things in a fair, just, practical way. And, was fearless and garnered a lot of respect.
The company aligns a lot with Buzz's values and always has. And Buzz's values are really just hard work, honesty, fairness, integrity, do what's right. And we still live by those today. And then with success comes humility. And your success is really not personal, it's really the people that help you get there and the community that helps you get there.
Buzz was a good, successful businessman, so he started partnering up with people. And that really became the genesis of what became kind of Buzz Oates Enterprises, so to speak. But he was a deal junkie. I mean, he loved kind of deal. It wasn't like he strategized to build an industrial development company. He wanted to do all kinds of stuff. From that, it just expanded. I think at one point in time, we had over 300 different partnerships, and Buzz was the hub of that. And they knew what Buzz is all about. He was about the bottom line. He was going to make sure it was profitable, but he was going to do it the right way.
He's a man of his word, handshake agreement, didn't need all the documentation. That says a lot about who he is and who he was then and the people he did business with. He found a way to make complicated things very simple, and that simple approach is what made him super successful.
We moved from having individual deals standing alone and kind of on a fragmented collective basis into a consolidated enterprise. And so that allowed us to use our capital well, it allowed us to focus in on that lane of doing the industrial development. We're good at that. We have some people that have been doing it a long time, a really good talented group of people kind of producing those assets. And that's where we're most profitable and we have the most impact.
Buzz was a pioneer in this region going back to the start of tilt-up construction, which is our forte today. Now it's very common. It's an efficient form of construction for these type of facilities that we build. And we've taken the timeline from building a building from say 12 to 14 months down to 6 or 8 months. We build facilities for people, businesses, and communities to grow, both professionally, economically, and socially. And we provide the hardware for that to happen. The Buzz Oates corporate citizenship initiative is really to be involved in the community. I mean, we're based here in Sacramento. Many of us Sacramento raised and have a strong affection for our hometown. And we try to implement this through our organization, through our team members being board members in various nonprofits, our charitable foundation, giving support to many nonprofits in the region, both through cash grants as well as our time and expertise, as well as just trying to make this a better community. So we like to be engaged politically, civically, and socially, besides just economically.
I was blessed to be able to be so close to Buzz. I really love the man, and just he was so influential in my life, and just a wonderful guy to be around. And just thankful that his family trusted me to kind of take that next step into this transition once he passed away, to say, hey, we can grow this even further. And it is a responsibility to do it with that same integrity, that same sense of character that family, the Oates family, can be proud of, and trying to pass that forward with a team of so talented people around us here, and to do that in such a way where we've grown the platform, but we've grown it with strength, and so now others can step into the leadership and the opportunity of this place and then grow it to something I hopefully couldn't even imagine.
Looking ahead to the future of Buzz Oates, biggest excitement is the talent we have in the organization to carry this platform forward. We've spent the last 10 years evolving the platform from an entrepreneurial kind of structure to more of an institutional structured organization, but still keeping the entrepreneurial roots. And we have a great foundation of assets in which allow us to build upon this portfolio. We continue to attract really exciting talent that we think has the ability to carry this thing far forward beyond us and continue to have a positive impact to the communities in which we kind of work in, and again back to providing opportunities for people and businesses and communities to grow.
Buzz's originally kind of core civic or charitable mindedness came up from his background in the church, and he did it in such a way it was usually centered around real estate because that's what he knew.
So St. John's started on the church steps in 1985 at St. John's Lutheran Church in Midtown. And for several years, the church was supporting women who were on the footsteps of the church. So there's a growing number of homeless women and children in the region. And we're going to continue to see that trajectory just move higher and higher. And so what St. John's does is we welcome those women, those children into the program, and we help them stabilize and re-envision their lives. What Buzz did for St. John's is helped us acquire the property that's here, the 3 buildings that we have, the numerous bedrooms that are in here. It's a very large piece of property that we couldn't have done on our own. And one of the things I think that makes St. John's so special is that we're all in one place, and that's what makes the power of the community so effective here, is because we're all here together, and Buzz had everything to do with us acquiring this property.
My husband and I planted a church up in the Rockland area 34 years ago. My dad gave us our piece of property that we first built our church on. He's always been just a great supporter of what we were doing. He attended our church. He sat right behind us every Sunday. I know after he passed away, they put a plaque on that handrail where he used to sit, because that's always where you'd find him on Sunday morning.
Buzz was never someone who wanted to have his name on anything. He liked to give, but in a very under the radar, very quiet way in which he gave in his terms, and that was his style.
One of the reasons why we're doing this Centennial event is to tell the story a little bit. And I think it deserves it. I think, whenever I think about the things that we've been engaged in, when I think about the people that have worked here, that this company's been built on their efforts, and the people that are currently working, and how strong we're connected and how much we want to do this the right way. It's part of our community heritage to know and honor people like him that were part of building this up, and to hopefully tell the story in such a way that it inspires others to put their effort in and move it forward, and the story will be told about them someday. I smile because I know that if Buzz could somehow be here and he would have never done it the way we're doing it, but he'd be super proud of this.